Welcome to our second episode, Sinisha. Let's begin by perhaps start telling a little bit about yourself or your background, both in IT and sports administration.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Siniša Veira from Croatia. My IT background. Of course, I was a student in IT sciences and on faculty of electrical engineering and computing here in Zagreb. And already as a student, I started working in IBM on some student and administrative jobs, but not long after, I switched to a proper IT tasks within that same company. So I spent about 15 years of my career outside of judo working for IBM on various IT-related tasks, and that was a really a good starting point to start my IT career. I was training judo in parallel. I started doing judo quite late when I was a teenager. Actually, I didn't even try to become a top athlete because it was not realistic for me starting with judo so late. And then in about 2005, I think, we had our first European Championships in Zagreb. I was not part of the national federation team back then, but considering the fact that they had a huge event to organize, they needed some workforce, and they needed somebody who is good at IT, who knows something about judo, and who is good at English. And I ticked all those boxes, and it was quite logical for me to join the federation. And not long after that, I was offered to cooperate with the EJU IT team, and I've been in IT team of European Judo Union since. So this is like few sentences.
So
Yeah.
kind of reaching towards 2 decades, if I've sensed it right, between
Something like that. Yes,
between the two jobs.
20 years. 20 years in judo altogether, 15 years in IBM. When I closed my IBM chapter of my professional life, I was at a big crossroads. I was traveling a lot for judo. That was a hobby of mine that I was really passionate about, that I really loved, that I really enjoyed, and definitely not something that I would easily let go. So the choice was to find another job.
Yeah.
And for sure, new management will not tolerate me being absent for so much, or just focus on judo 100% and do your best to make some change in that field. And I went for the second option, and I'm not regretting it ever since.
Nice one, but that would involve you going through certain evolution of technology, I would imagine. 20 years ago, we didn't have AI and whatnot. So thinking back of those early years in sports administration, and if you can imagine what was it like working with papers, because I do recall going to competitions where you still had to use a piece of paper for weighing, and you run the pool sheets like that, etc., etc. But I just really want to get your reflection of those old days.
Those were interesting times. Yes, I did my first judo event pretty much as a teenager. I would say, I don't know, late 1990s or early 2000s, when a friend of mine actually came to me and said, "Hey, my club is doing this tournament, and this is the first time that we got some kind of software which is in German, I think. I'm not sure. Definitely not in English. And we would like to use that new software on this competition, because until now they use the papers. I unfortunately I don't know how that looks like from the administration side.
Yeah.
But even with this new software, where you had to type in all the names manually, just do the draw, and you have contest sheets, and then you give it to the venue, you put it on the wall,
Right.
you give it to the announcer. So actually announcers did the calculation of who goes forward, who is in the repassage, who is out, who is in, and all the contest schedule, which category goes when and which tatami. And then you got the finish sheets back and you enter the results manually in the system. And all that in German, which is not my stronger side. That was really, really emotional. And then you have this one kid who had 1 cup of water too much, and he has to change the category. So you have to change
Oh,
everything, print new sheets, new papers, and then you are pushing through a bunch of coaches and athletes standing next to the wall with all the contest sheets to try to change the categories. And when you change, they are starting yelling, coaches, oh, why is this change? My boy had a bye in the first round. Now he has to fight. Then you have to explain. That was really something.
something.
It was
Oh,
yeah. It was a really low level of control of the athletes, low level of control of inscriptions, huge number of sudden changes. Sometimes changes even happen after the category already started.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was a tricky thing to do because it was really difficult to implement some kind of double check from the coaches because the communication was not proper. They would come in the morning, they would inscribe, we put the name in the system together with the category and the age and everything is done quickly. And if you do one misclick or coach makes a small mistake, you end up with a kid being in a wrong age or wrong weight category, which then requires some adjustments. And this is
Right.
always a stressful part.
So we came a long way, to say the least, since
Oh,
then.
oh, we are miles away.
But as with
Miles.
everything, you have your, advantages and disadvantages. So, speaking of today's level of sports administration, especially in your field, I suppose, what are the advantages and challenges for organization that you see?
Oh, a big ones. We have few really, really big ones. Not a few, a bunch of big ones. First of all is the ease of communication, with the coaches. There are channels, chat channels where you can put some kind of informations, announcements, where you can put relevant information. Coaches can communicate back. They can confirm or communicate some changes in time, and it's really, really good thing to have something like that. Only this communication part, and then we go to
Right,
live video streaming of the events, live results, statistics, which is just one click away. There
right,
are no papers. The announcer that had all these papers in front of her, calculating who is in repassage, who is out. Now she's doing it from the computer screen.
right.
There is a contest order for each tatami, and she just reads the names, which is really convenient, really easy. And for me, we are really, really miles away. Also, coaches with this access to this online system
Right,
knows exactly in how many fights, which tatami he has his athletes.
right.
He
So,
has enough time to prepare. He has enough time to talk to the athlete, to develop a strategy and things like that. It's not longer chaotic where they have to run from one side of the venue to the next and change judogi while running, things like that. Everything is well defined. Coaches know things well in advance, and this is, I think, the huge benefit. And of course, after the event, when they go home, when they go to their club, when they go to their federation, all the statistics, all the results,
everything is at
it's
hand.
just one click away.
Yeah.
They can, pull it, make a summary for some kind of, I don't know, financial business with the Olympic Committee or
Right.
whatever.
Anything, yeah.
And I think it's a great thing that we are where we are now.
I'm hearing a lot of advantages, which is evident. Any challenges that you feel that there is still out there when it comes to sports administration?
Oh yes, no challenge. One of the easiest challenges is that you always have these old school coaches, old school people who like to have it on the paper.
Okay.
And I already have a set about 10, 15 coaches. When I see they are on competition, I prepare their sheets in advance because I know they will go to me to ask it because they don't know any other way. This is perfectly fine. And this is, one of the sweet sides. I would say the biggest challenge is, for example, these IT technologies, they are expensive,
Right.
and for small organizations, like for clubs and things like that, I would say the biggest challenges are logistical and financial.
Financial, right.
But the good thing is, after you make that initial investment into equipment or infrastructure or whatever is needed, you can use that same equipment and same infrastructure for the many following years. So it's definitely not money wasted. This is something that is staying, and the depreciation is quite slow. So you can use, I don't know, laptops for 5, 6, 7 years without any issues. So I would say the biggest challenge is this logistics and finances with the equipment, and also, which is a big one, to find the people who can manage this equipment and this infrastructure.
To have the knowledge.
To have
the
Exactly.
knowledge, right.
This is something that we are struggling about because this has to be a crazy combination of a person who is crazy about the sport in question and about IT.
Right.
And sometimes these things don't match up too often.
It's interesting you mentioned these two because we'll jump back to it at the end of our conversation or towards the end, because there are two key informations about the data project that we'll soon start talking about that are actually relevant to the financial and the knowledge part of our conversation, or what you pinpointed. Over the years or decades, if you mind, of your experience, have you witnessed? Don't worry, nobody can see. Have you witnessed any significant changes in development, or maybe have you came across, like you mentioned, the German software or another softwares that you feel like it made a significant impact in sports organizations' life?
Huge changes have happened in the last few decades. There are individuals, enthusiasts with love for sports and knowledge in IT who are willing to invest their time and effort and sometimes money to build some kind of new system that is, in their opinion, better than what existed at the moment. Sometimes it works, mostly it works. Sometimes it doesn't, but at least it's always this idea, okay, let's try something new, let's try something better.
Right.
Right now we have quite popular in many sports and already a standard is referee replay system, for example. This is something that is used on every sport. In football, they call it VAR system. In judo, we use something that is called fair replay system. Then we have tagging. For example, when you are watching a fight on the internet, you don't have to watch all 10 minutes of the fight. There is a button that says, in this moment, we had a nippon, we had a throw. So you just click it,
Right.
and automatically you go to that moment where this score happened, and you basically don't lose the time. So this is called tagging, and this is something that is very convenient, very useful for the end users consuming the products from their home, from their computers. Second thing is the statistics,
Right.
that now there are huge databases of all judokas with their historical records, with their results, with the competitions where they performed, head-to-head statistics, things like that. And all this can be incorporated in that live streaming part, where you can develop some kind of TV graphics, which look nice with some head-to-head statistics, with latest achievements, medals, things like that.
Right.
it's a huge difference when you see just the name Barbara Matic from Croatia, and when you see Barbara Matic, double world champion and Olympic gold medalist. This is a big
Of course.
information for somebody who is not from Croatia and doesn't know.
And doesn't follow judo or
Yes, and not to mention all the potential that is now opening with the new AI technologies that are
Right.
just entering the sports, and this is a huge field that will for sure we be very, very interested to follow, because there are many crazy ideas what can be done in that field. The
I
only
imagine.
question is whether we have enough crazy people to put that in motion.
no. Well, I think you'll manage.
Yeah, I would say one of perfect examples of such company
Yeah.
is Slovenian company Datastat. I remember the guys like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, where they started exactly like this. You know, we are few enthusiasts and we want to build something new. And today, it's a relatively big company, and they are their system is now used by numerous national federations, all continental and World Judo Federation. And today it's a company that is developing and with collaboration with the National Judo Federation maintains the whole IT ecosystem of judo that is being used in the whole world today.
That's amazing. It's good you mentioned data stats. So let's jump over to data project, which is the soul of this program, really. And so turning into that project, there are two information that, forgive me, I've not told you, I think, prior to our conversation when inviting you to the program. One is that for the first 5 years, the app is going to be for free. And this is where the whole financial aspects come in place. And the second is that there are free online courses to gain that knowledge of the benefit and how, which is actually already online and currently ongoing. Now, given this information, freshly introduced to you now, what is your...
Just to ask you. So this is a platform which will enable for example, small clubs to do the draw or something like that.
So it's a platform, so it's digital administrative training, basically, digital tool for sports organizations, primarily for grassroots level. It's not to say that an elite club can't use it, but it's primarily for grassroots level.
I'm ready, because this is the answer I'm ready for.
Yes, it's not to say, an elite league can't use it, but it's to help, at our previous conversation with Magda from Rijeka Sports Association, we were discussing, for example, how, at grassroots, how much volunteers you're relying on, a lot. Again, not to say that in a high event, well, the Olympics is full of volunteers. Bear in mind, volunteers are key. But when you have your own club, for example, or you're on a smaller organization, we were chatting about how somebody's talking through WhatsApp whilst the other one is using a Google form, and then the third one is ticking boxes on a paper. So the idea is that we all bring our work together, from the parents to the coaches to the administrator to the lady who is doing the attendance sheet and whatsoever. So it's bringing everything together into one platform. So when you open it, you got every information in one place. And then you can pull down the data. Speaking of statistics, you can pull down, how many people attended my class this week? How many people competed? What was the results? What was the trip to wherever we went to compete? So all the data in one platform. And so from your professional's perspective, what it's like bringing this tool to the market, do you think will support sports organizations like?
Well, first of all, this is something that I always say to the people related to our job here on sports events. Every sports event, doesn't matter the sport, doesn't matter the level. It can be ground school level, the kindergarten level, or Olympic level, doesn't matter,
Right.
and everything in between. We are doing that because of the athletes and the coaches, for them to be to have a good experience of sport, for them to try to achieve something, some result or to get better, to learn something and things like that. They don't come to the event to see, oh, I want to see how IT is covered on this event. No,
Absolutely.
this
Yeah.
is for sure not the case. So I would say every initiative to simplify the administration of sports events on every event, every level, is very good, especially the ones focused on the lowest levels, where organizers have the biggest struggle to provide a proper service to the users, actually, whether
Right.
it's a competitor or a coach or a person watching a live stream on the computer. So I would say this this idea of pushing this administration part towards all the levels and make it simple for them and financially affordable is very, very good. And for sure, if a system like that goes into production, I think it will be a very, very big step forward in simplifying life for everybody involved, especially for the organizers.
Amazing. And that's, I was going to ask for a closing thought, but that was so nicely wrapped up there. But still, anything else you can think of this data? I mean, you're new to it, so it's nice to get a perspective that it's, you know, you're not inside the project, you're not the one developing the app, but yet it is your work of line of work, which is sports administration, well, part of it. So yeah, any key messages that you want to leave to our listeners in terms of how important and how beneficial it's going to be? Because the one thing that kind of stayed with me throughout our conversation is you mentioned that some people still prefer the paper. So there is also the element of transitioning. So without, you know, giving too much, any final thoughts of, let's say, why do you think that sports organizations should try and lean towards using data platform once is out?
I will tell you a small story. So in these 20 years, I have received many taps on the shoulder, many compliments, blah, 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 for my good job and things like that. But one compliment was by far the one that cut me so deep and totally hooked me up. So one of the National Federation presidents came to me after a successful event. We haven't been introduced to each other before. And he realized who I am, so he came to me and he said, I see everything is running, everything is smooth, and I have no idea who is doing it. For me, that was the best compliment for my work. My job at the event is to be invisible and to make everything works.
Right.
You know, final thoughts. In IBM, on every project, you have a big part dedicated to change management. And a huge effort and huge resources are given to that part of the project because it's a very important one. When you are introducing a new software system in a bank, for example, you have an old lady working at the counter for the last 30 years on one system, and you want to change it to something better, something faster, something more reliable, something more shiny, something more everything.
Yeah.
Of course, you will get a resistance from the other side. Of course, she will try to find tons of, some kind of mistakes or things that were better in the old system.
Right.
But when you hold her hand and when you show her how things are done in the new system, and you give her time to adapt to the new system, this is a very important thing to do, because director or a manager of the bank, he will not work on this system. That old lady
Right.
will.
Exactly.
And she's the one who will have all the problems that new system will bring with it. And it's a good thing to try to mitigate all these small struggles of the change. And especially this goes to all our listeners there. If you are a sports enthusiast or a practitioner with a certain skill sets, whether it's IT or organization, it doesn't matter which one, but you think it could benefit to your local club or sport or a region or national federation, and you are willing to share your ideas or give your energy or time, then be proactive. Raise your hand and just shout out, hey, I'm here, I'm willing to help.
Right.
This is how I can help you. And you have no idea how happy those people will be to have somebody like that join the team.
Well, speaking of holding hands, first, thank you so much for joining us, of course, Nisha. And speaking of holding hands, we do have the free course. Data Project has a free course to hold your hand, to take you through.
Yeah.
There is basic course and there is an advanced course, all for free. Just check out the comment section below and you can find the link for the free courses. And that is Data Project's way of holding hands all the way to the time when the application and the whole system will be up and running for the users to take advantage of it. So thank you so much, Nisha, once again, and we wish you all the best.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me.